Welcome to Digital Time Savers. We are diving deep today into, well, what has become maybe the single most frustrating corner of digital marketing right now,
Hmm?
the meta advertising frontier in 2026.
It's a hot topic for a reason.
It really is. And, if you're running ad campaigns, you know the feeling. You've been in the trenches for years, and suddenly the campaigns that were your bread and butter, the ones that just printed money, they've sputtered out. The
Mm.
dashboards are confusing, targeting feels so restricted, and it honestly feels like the platform has just seized the wheel and left you, the driver, in the passenger seat.
Yeah.
We hear that question all the time. Why does this feel so much harder than it used to?
It feels harder because it is harder. I mean, the financial reality has just ratcheted up the pressure. You're not imagining things.
So there's data to back this feeling up.
Oh, absolutely. We have hard data confirming this. When we look at costs, specifically CPMs, so the cost per thousand impressions, Meta's Q1 of 2025 saw its highest first quarter CPMs since at least 2021.
Wow. Highest in years. And what was the actual year-over-year jump?
It was a staggering 19.2%,
Yeah.
nearly 20% jump.
Ouch.
Yeah. And, an increase like that doesn't just cut into your margins.
Mhm.
For a lot of businesses, that kind of cost spike it can put you out of business if you don't adapt
Yeah.
immediately.
Okay, so that's the reality check. Costs are soaring, control is diminishing. So what's the mission here for this deep dive? Do people just abandon Meta, or is there still a path to winning in this high-pressure AI-driven world?
Meta ads are still, they're still probably the most powerful distribution channel on the planet, but you need a completely new approach,
A new playbook.
a totally new playbook. The fundamental truth is that the platform has transitioned.
Yeah.
We've moved from a manual system to one that is totally AI-driven. So the mission today is to give you the blueprint for that new landscape. It's about adaptation, not resistance.
Because if you keep trying to use those 2020 tactics...
You will just hemorrhage cash.
Yeah.
Simple as that.
Okay, so let's unpack that course shift. This is where it all starts. For years, the advertiser was at the control panel, right? We obsessed over interests, micro-audiences, placements, bidding. We had our hands on every single dial.
We did. But those days are decisively over.
Yeah.
The system has, it's evolved past the need for that kind of human micromanagement.
And why did that happen? Was it just to make our lives more difficult?
No, not at all. It was really driven by two things. First, the big one, iOS privacy changes, which just starved Meta of data. And second, the realization that their own AI could actually outperform most humans who were using old, stale data.
Yes, they just took away the tools.
They did. As of March 2025, they officially retired a whole bunch of detailed targeting exclusions and layered filters. The system basically said, thanks, but we got this.
So the advertiser is no longer optimizing buttons in Ads Manager.
Exactly. Your whole job has shifted. You've gone from being a micromanager to being someone who intelligently feeds the system the highest quality inputs. You're training the AI now. You're not controlling it.
So if we're not controlling interests or bidding, what inputs, what signals is this AI actually relying on to find our next customer?
It really operates on four core pillars. And if any one of these is weak, your whole campaign struggles.
Okay, what's the first one?
The first is creative engagement patterns, how people interact with the ad itself, the likes, shares, the time they spend watching.
Right, makes sense.
Second, and this is maybe the most crucial, strong conversion signals, your tracking data. It has to be perfect.
We'll definitely come back to that one. What's third?
Third is broad user behavior across Meta's entire ecosystem. Everything else they click on, pages they follow. And finally, the historical conversion data from your own ad account. The AI synthesizes all of that to find who's most likely to convert.
Which brings us to letting go of those old habits. If the AI is focused on those four pillars, what is it actively ignoring that we used to think was so important?
It's ignoring those hyper-detailed, restrictive interest stacks. It ignores tiny custom audiences that are too small to ever learn efficiently, and it definitely ignores your manual placement restrictions.
So when a campaign fails now...
It's almost never because your targeting was a little too broad. It's because the creative is weak, the tracking is broken, or the message itself is just confusing.
That's the perfect summary then. The 2026 environment is creative-led, signal-driven, and system-optimized. We provide the fuel and the destination, and the AI is driving the car.
That's a perfect analogy.
Okay, so even with the AI driving, some fundamentals still separate the profitable accounts from the money pits. Let's talk about those non-negotiables.
Absolutely. And the first one is so simple that people just overlook it all the time, but it's the biggest differentiator. The clarity and the urgency of your offer.
The offer itself.
Yeah, just scroll through your own feed. How many ads actually stop you? How many give you a compelling, time-sensitive reason to click right now? Your ad has to answer that question. Why should I care about this right now in the first 2 seconds?
So we're talking about something that goes beyond just the product.
Exactly. The product is the solution, but the offer is the motivation. We see success driven by things like, deep discounts, free trials, valuable bundles, ironclad guarantees, limited time bonuses. The offer has to make not acting feel like a mistake.
A weak offer won't be saved by a perfect audience.
Never. A perfect audience with a weak offer just means a high cost per acquisition.
Okay, and once that perfect audience sees that great offer, the second fundamental is just simplicity in messaging.
Yes, the AI is a miracle worker at finding people, but it cannot fix basic human confusion. A winning ad has to immediately answer 3 questions. Who is this for? What problem does it solve? And why does it matter to me?
Clarity over cleverness.
Always. Clarity wins sales. Clever wordplay and abstract branding, they might look great on a billboard, but they kill performance on Meta because the AI can't interpret brand complexity.
Okay, number 3. And you flag this as maybe the most critical technical piece. Strong conversion signals.
Tracking is everything, and this means you need redundancy. Meta's absolute mandate right now is using both the Pixel and the Conversions API, or Key API, together.
So really quickly, why do we need both? Why doesn't the old Pixel enough anymore?
Well, the Pixel is browser-side, so if someone uses an ad blocker or iOS limits tracking, or their internet even just drops for a second, that data can be lost.
God.
Gone. CPI is server-side. It sends the data directly from your server to Meta's server. It catches what the Pixel misses. It's your insurance policy.
So using both gives the AI a complete uninterrupted picture of what happens after a click.
That's it. And accounts running with both consistently outperform those on the Pixel alone. Asking Meta to find you buyers with broken tracking is like asking it to operate blindfolded. It's the #1 reason for poor performance.
And the final fundamental that separates the pros from the dabblers.
Consistency. Consistency over hacks. Success on Meta in 2026 is a grind. It's not about one viral moment. It's about having a system for weekly creative testing, iterating on what wins, and building a huge library of assets for the algorithm to learn from.
A consistent system builds a predictable machine.
Month after month, year after year, exactly.
And that's the roadmap. But to really embrace that, we have to let go of the old methods. Let's talk about the tactics that the system now actively punishes.
Yeah, the key thing is just to stop micromanaging. The system now penalizes advertisers who show distrust in the AI through over-control.
Like the old classic interest stacking.
That's the perfect example.
Yeah.
Layering 20+ interests on top of each other. It almost never beats broad targeting or Advantage Plus bump. The system is just smarter.
And we see that in Meta's own data, right?
We do. Advantage Plus shopping campaigns grew 70% year over year in Q4. Meta's own internal system, Andromeda, has improved ad quality by 8%. The data is clear. Give the AI room to breathe.
And that leads right to another bad habit, over-segmentation. Splitting campaigns into a dozen tiny pieces.
It's failed to the algorithm. You're just fragmenting your data pool. You starve the AI of the centralized data it needs to get out of the learning phase.
So consolidation is key.
Centralization and consolidation, yes.
And the last old tactic to ditch? Obsessing over the wrong metrics.
The vanity metrics, I see it all the time. People obsessing over a high click-through rate, CPR, without tracking actual conversions.
False confidence.
The definition of false confidence.
Ah.
You feel great, but you're just wasting money on clicks that don't lead to business results. You have to feed the AI real bottom-line conversion data and then trust it.
This all builds up to what you said is the single biggest shift in meta advertising history. The creative revolution. The idea that creatives are your targeting.
This cannot be overstated. It's a shocking shift. A 2025 AppsFlyer report found that a staggering 70 to 80% of meta ad performance comes directly from the creative quality.
70 to 80%. Wait, that completely flips the old hierarchy. The creative director is now more important than the media buyer.
In many ways, yes. The creative team holds the keys to the kingdom now. Think about it. The AI shows your ad to a wide audience. If it resonates with a certain type of person, the AI doesn't need an interest label anymore.
It just finds more people like that.
It just uses the engagement patterns on the creative itself to find more people who behave in a similar way. The creative becomes the filter, the best filter possible.
Okay, so if the creative is the filter, what are the winning formats? What should people be making right now?
It's all about authenticity, and directness.
Hmm.
We see huge success with UGC-style videos, user-generated content,
Right.
native lo-fi stuff that just blends into the feed. You need a clear hook in the first 2 seconds, non-negotiable. Real people, real language. And keep it short. Under 30 seconds is the sweet spot.
I have to challenge you a bit on that, on the lo-fi trend. What
Yeah.
about a high-end luxury brand? Do they really have to sacrifice their polished image for a shaky phone video?
That's a great question, and it's a critical nuance. It's not about being intentionally poorly produced. It's about being authentic and clear.
Hmm.
A highly polished ad can still work brilliantly, but only if the message is still human and immediate.
So polish is fine, but the hook has to feel native to the platform.
Exactly. And the data backs this up. UGC-based ads get 4 times higher click-through rates and a 50% cut in cost per click. So even for a luxury brand, the message, the hook, it still needs to feel human.
That brings us to the final piece of the puzzle, measurement. Because even with great creative, Meta's dashboard isn't the whole story, right? Relying only on that can lead to bad decisions.
It's the painful truth. Smart advertisers in 2026 have moved beyond single-channel measurement. They focus on blended ROAS, total revenue divided by total ad spend. They're tracking their marketing efficiency ratio, MER. They're looking at the big picture.
You have to see Meta as one piece of a bigger engine, not the single source of truth.
Precisely. And just to hammer this point home one last time for measurement, you need that server-side tracking, that code API we mentioned. In our audits, it can capture up to 30% more conversions than the pixel alone.
30%. That's the difference between a campaign looking like a failure and a huge success.
It is. You need that full picture to make smart decisions.
Okay, so let's tie this all together for someone planning their 2026 strategy. What are the absolute priorities?
Your focus has to shift inward. First, build creative testing systems, not just one-off ads. Make production constant. Second, get your offers and positioning rock solid. Third, reliable, redundant tracking. Pixel plus KPI.
Don't even start without it.
Don't. Fourth, be patient during the learning phase. Let the AI work. And finally, integrate Meta with everything else. Email, SEO, CRO, brand. It's a distribution engine for a healthy business, not a standalone hack.
So the people who have been struggling, they're the ones trying to use those old manual rules in this new automated system. The winners are the ones feeding the algorithm great creative and clean data.
And then they measure the results against the whole business, not just inside Meta's dashboard. If you can make that shift, Meta is still one of the most powerful growth channels there is.
This has been incredibly clarifying. Thank you for breaking it all down. Hopefully this deep dive has given you, the listener, a real edge to move forward with.
And to leave you with one final thought to reflect on, given that creatives are now the primary targeting mechanism, maybe up to 80% of performance, and the algorithm handles distribution, how does that fundamentally change the power dynamic, the very structure, between a traditional media buyer and a creative director inside a modern marketing team? Something to think about as you build your teams for the future.